Yeah, we're back with the Terrify Her podcast. I'm Evan.
And I'm Wallace. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah. We're back. We're back with a more consistent schedule.
We're back. Yeah.
And we're here to talk about a very old classic.
A classic, a cult favorite.
A cult favorite. And I was too afraid to watch it until we decided to do this podcast episode. So, and I'm glad that we did because it's definitely a game-changing movie.
Yeah, definitely. It inspired so many other movies.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I started looking into it.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a first of its kind.
Yeah, it didn't start the subgenre of slasher.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I feel like maybe
kind of Psycho before, but
yeah,
that was kind of all they had until the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I think if we talk about this movie, we should go all the way back to 1954 to the actual murder.
Oh no,
that it was based off. Did you read about anything? Ed Gein.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
last night, late at night. And I'm like, I usually I hate real horror or no
true crime.
Yeah. So but this was interesting because it actually makes sense that it's based on that movie, and also Psycho also used parts of Ed Gein's story.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is it's just so interesting.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin, 1954.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice details to remember because I literally just remember the story essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was arrested for the murder of a woman who was a shop owner at the time. And when they found her body, she was hung upside down, decapitated, and with her torso cut open, essentially, just like you were to butcher an animal.
Yeah.
And then basically he got he got sent to a mental hospital for the criminally insane because he was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Yeah.
But then was in the mental hospital for a while before they deemed him fit to be on trial. But he still got charged though, right?
I mean, we know that he was the murderer of. It was two women that he admitted guilt to, but then they also found a ton of eyeballs and body parts and things because he would go and rob graves, and then make basically sculptural kind of things with and so collect weird. Parts of the body. So the house in the Chainsaw Massacre was actually kind of a vivid recollection of that real house that he had. And the reason he was like that is because he was abused by his mother, very, very heavily, and he was also in love with his mother because of just the kind of abuse that she was inflicting on him. And when she died,
Oedipus theory or whatever, you know what I'm talking about?
I saw the Madonna horror theory.
Oh, is
that where he's in love with his mother but also hates his mother.
Oh, I think Oedipus. I can't remember what the word is now.
We'll find out.
I think that's when your son, the son and the mom have a weird, close, almost sexual relationship.
No, there was sexual abuse.
Yeah,
she was and she told him that he wasn't allowed to have sexual relationships at all, and then also sexually abused him, and so he was very messed up.
Yeah.
And when she died, he actually killed the two women that he did admit to killing. Were they looked like his mother.
Yeah.
And there could have been sexual things that happened with the bodies. We don't really.
Yeah.
I didn't look that far into that, but
probably.
But yeah, it seemed pretty.
Probably assume.
Yeah. So that was pretty intense, and so you could totally see how that connects to Psycho as well because he was obsessed with his mother, but he kept his mother dead in the house, and then the same with Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the mom is also kept dead in the house.
Yeah. And the grandpa.
Oh God, no.
We'll get there. But yeah, so that happened in 1954 or whatever. But what they found in the house also was lampshades made out of human skin. He had human skulls as bed post knobs or whatever. He had a few women's faces. Like there was like faces cut off. There was a torso like so that he would like, wear, and and he had like skinned legs that looked like leggings. That's what they said.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it. I mean, when you see that in the movie,
yeah, you see that in the movie,
and I'm like, wow, like kind of creative kids, but in a very warped.
That's wild.
Like the sewing machine. I'm like, okay,
yeah, I thought of you. I was like, oh, well, it's you'd be making all
textiles,
all kinds of shit,
not just a woman's work.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that happened.
Yeah, that really happened in real life. Yeah. And that's the interesting, because at first like the movie makes it seem like this could be based on true events. You know, and then like Sam's like, my boyfriend's not going to Texas anytime, because I was like, I don't think it actually happened. Then I looked into it, and then I found out about Ed Gein in Wisconsin. So it wasn't like there was actually a chainsaw massacre.
Yeah, he didn't even use a chainsaw. Well,
yeah.
They know.
Yeah, he may have. It could have been useful for some of his creative.
Yeah. In the 50s, though, like, did they have one? Did they have, like...
Yeah, we'll have to find out when the first one was made, I think.
The first
they
chainsaw.
had gas, so...
Yeah. I mean, a hacksaw, for sure.
Yeah.
Terrifier style.
Yeah, so it's scary that there's people like that out there.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so then, what, like, a couple years later... what's the director's name again?
Ooh, I know it too. I wrote it down somewhere here. Toby Hooper.
Yeah. So he had this idea for the movie, and he didn't know what his weapon of choice would be.
Right.
Until Christmas.
Yeah.
And he was walking through a department store.
Relatable.
Yeah. So relatable. And he was just like,
so busy.
So like the hordes of humans everywhere. He was just like, oh my gosh, like I just wish I could plow through all these people to like get where I need to go. And then at that very moment, he like looked over and saw the wall of like chainsaws. He was like, oh yeah, if I just grabbed one of those and started those up, people would clear out real quick.
Yeah.
And then he was like, ding, light bulb. That's the thing, because the sound alone of a chainsaw is like gets you going a little bit, you know.
Definitely, especially after the movie.
Yeah.
Especially
yeah.
And they are very scary, like things. Yeah.
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 So he has the story, he has the idea, he has his weapon.
So then he makes that, and then he also, it's a pretty low budget movie, and it's literally in Texas, and I think it was like 100 degrees the entire time. They filmed for 30 days, but every day was like an 18-hour day.
Yeah.
So apparently the actors at the end like hated him, and like never wanted to work with him again. Yeah. And
he said that they since like were able to like, some of them were able to like I think when years went by and then they saw
they
how
could
like
see the success of it.
Oh yeah, and then they were like,
make a lot
okay,
of money for what
sorry.
it cost. Yeah. I mean,
but
and then
like, yeah,
they didn't have like, apparently the cut scene when they cut her finger was real.
Yeah, that whole scene, that whole
like
dinner
they actually
scene.
had to cut her finger in real life.
Yeah, well, it was an accident. Ew, and then he like sucks on the finger.
No, I know. We'll get there.
Gross.
We'll get there. I know. Ew.
Yeah. So the story starts out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's like a brother and a sister. The brother in the wheelchair.
Yeah. Sally and Franklin.
Franklin.
Yeah. He's like honestly the star of the movie though.
Yeah. So strange.
And he like builds the tension right away, I guess, because he's in a wheelchair and there is like kind of a he's like, I kind of wish I didn't come, and they also are kind of wishing he didn't come because they have to like kind of take care of him, and and like it starts out right away where he has to take a pee, and then he falls down the fucking hill, so he's already having a rough day. But it gets worse. It gets way worse.
How did he fall? Oh yeah, there's like a truck
that went by. And like it shocked everyone, and then he flew down the hill and fell out, and it was just but he
You're like, oh, I'm laughing a little bit too hard at
his expense. Well, no, he's like kind of funny throughout the movie. Like he's kind of a comedic relief in the seriousness of this and the discomfort of the movie.
There is a weird, I think that's why I always loved Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because there is this weird like underlying like comedic
There were points throughout the whole movie where I like burst out laughing. And I'm like, I think it's also because I'm uncomfortable, but it's like also like amazingly like comedic and randomly, and I'll explain more of that, how I feel about that. But I do think that the character building, it's not really about the characters, it's more about like how like the setting is. They're kind of hippies in the 70s. They're just trying to get home? I can't remember if they're not going to a concert.
No, they're just on like a drive, aren't they? Or they're like going somewhere, but it's like, I don't think it's really.
No, they're going to their old family home.
Oh yeah, which is a completely different storyline. Sorry, than the Jessica Biel one. It's just the Jessica Biel one.
The Jessica Biel one. That's all it is. That's all. I don't know anyone else's name.
Yeah.
But no, so they're going to the old family home, and I remember like when they get there, it's like super overgrown and everything's like, and I'm like, how long ago did they live here? Because like the sister's like, and she's like, I remember really the zebras on the wall, and I'm like, it looks like it's been like 100 years since anyone's lived here. So I don't know how that happened, but it just, and then like the spiders like in the corner when the guy goes in the room, and there's just like this really it's very 70s that way, where it's like just like a shot close of, in like, on the spiders and like the audio the audio is solid.
Just kind of wandering around that house, and there's like the act. I just like the movies from the 70s, like everybody overacted everything. Like everyone was like, it's just so overacted that it's like so ridiculous. Like when they're walking through the house, and she's
like screaming.
No, she's like, ah!
Like she's being tickled or something.
Like the whole time. And you're just like, what is so funny? You're just walking around.
And they just like left Franklin, but like before all that happens, they picked up that hitchhiker.
Oh yeah, so they pick up this like weird.
They go by a slaughterhouse, and then they see this guy, and they're like,
they pick him up.
Which who knows why, but
and he just kind of starts going off about slaughtering animals, right? And how he loves it or something like that.
And they were kind of relating on that, like Franklin and him, and they do say in the movie, like, this is actually one of the most vegetarian or vegan like movies that was ever made besides Babe, which is like that wholesome movie about the pig, because there's like a whole underlying of like the politics of like meat industry and like how people are totally okay talking about slaughtering and even looking at pictures of slaughtered animals, but then like being slaughtered yourself or like being eaten.
I didn't think about that part, because I know that there's like a socio-political like underlying theme to the movie too, that he like brings up, just like based off the state of the world during that time, but like that didn't register to me that it's also like kind of an animal right.
It does. You don't catch that. It's subtle. It's subtle, but like now I'm like, vegans, you got a movie to watch if you haven't seen it.
He did use real. Well, it's not. Well, I guess he used real animal carcasses and like blood and like.
They found roadkill. Like it's not like they killed animals necessarily for the movie.
So the armadillo or whatever in the beginning is a real dead armadillo.
Oh, all the bones are real. Like when I watched it with my boyfriend, he's like, they wouldn't be able to make this movie now. Like like it's like
they said back then it was cheaper to get real human bones than to have like, I don't know, prosthetics or like whatever, like.
The cast was like, every time they'd pause a scene, they'd go and puke and come back because it smelled like rotting carcasses.
days
in like 100-degree heat.
Then they weren't allowed to wash their clothes.
Oh my god.
And the guy who plays Leatherface wasn't allowed to wash his clothes at all, and they couldn't like, they said that they couldn't even be anywhere like near him. Like I'm
sure
like what
you could that reads through the screen.
It's like, interesting
if
that
you wouldn't want to be near that guy.
It's interesting that nobody quit. You know what I mean? Because they talk about how like shitty the conditions were, and it just sounds horrendous. But it made obviously for an amazing movie. But like they also got paid. Like he went over budget, and then like after paying everything off, he only had $8,000 to like spread amongst the cast and crew. So nobody made any money. And I was like, that's so. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an independent film. It was like a Halloween production, essentially. Like they were like kind of a group of
just like
nobodies, kind of, or like that like made this thing together.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess that makes sense then. But
but still, like I don't think anyone knew what they were signing up for.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's so interesting. So many stories are like that.
Well, I feel like in the 70s, horror movies, like they don't make them like that anymore, and there's like a level of fear, or like they just kind of get to you and get under your skin a little bit more, because like they're literally like inhumane a lot. Like you wouldn't be able to make them again. Like there's no way that they could make The Shining the way they did again, or like this movie again. Like people would be like protesting, and it'd be like a human rights issue.
Well, yeah, just what do you mean, like
like people being under that kind of stress of the heat and
like
real
working
rotting
conditions.
Thing, the working conditions, they're just not okay.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
The working conditions.
That would be, crazy.
Yeah, and then I don't know. So they have to get gas, and they go and they get
the iconic gas station.
The guy's like, "You guys should just stay here and have a barbecue," and I guess that's already like cooked human meat.
Yeah.
And they're like, "But we don't have gas until tomorrow," and you kind of want to trust that guy,
the store owner.
Yeah. You kind of do at the beginning anyway. I'm like, "Oh yeah, maybe he's okay."
Yeah.
And that's all. I guess what they all think.
Yeah.
And then going to the house, and then I guess they just go and try and find the lake, the pond, and then they're like, "Oh, well, maybe we'll just go see if the neighbors have gas because there's a generator going." And then they go into the house.
Yeah, and she's like,
"Yeah," but like if you get to that house, and you saw the tooth,
I know,
would you go inside? And I guess the tooth isn't a huge like hint that, but then you go inside and you see like all of the dead animals on the wall, everywhere, like pelts and heads and stuff.
And he still goes in and is like, "Hello."
I feel like that guy like asked for it
oh my god, 100%. But I love that scene, like when he's just like, "Hello," and then all of a sudden it's just like,
it's so intense.
He's just like,
I didn't expect it to happen right then.
He comes
they
in,
go
like,
in
there's
quick.
and then you're like, okay, now it's about to like,
and then he slams the door. And that's just like iconic scene. Honestly, whoever that, I don't know the guy who acts as the Leatherface. I don't remember. But he's really amazing.
He really wanted. I heard like a little like fact where he wrote to them asking to play Leatherface. And then they gave it to somebody else, but then that person fell through, and then he heard that it fell through, and like I don't know, probably so this was his
entire like journey in life was to be
he wanted to be Leatherface that bad.
Well, he did an amazing job.
Oh yeah.
Was that his real teeth then? Was that his whole real face?
No.
Those were fake?
Those were fake. It was his idea for Leatherface to be mentally hindered to the point where he went to like mental hospitals and like hung out with like to get their mannerisms right.
No way.
Yeah.
Believable.
Yeah.
Believable.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's
I'm obsessed though. I was like, that's when there was a moment when I laughed out loud, was like when he's chasing Sally, when he starts chasing her after he kills Franklin, because everyone's gone now, it's dark, and they're like, well, I guess we have to look for them, and then he just pops out of nowhere again, not expecting him to come that soon,
out of the woods.
I guess he's like leading them literally back to the house.
Oh, okay.
He chases her back to the house, but just how fast he is with the chainsaw and doesn't stop one moment to like take a breath or anything. I'm like, this guy's fit. Like never mind Michael Myers like walking to get you. This guy's fucking running with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's scary. That's really good.
And she actually was running through that like brush or whatever. Like she actually was like
she had to, because it looked like it like
and it was
scraped her head at one point. That
yeah.
part when she got through at the end. Yeah.
God. Pretty sure she had a few scratches, and that was a real chainsaw. They never used.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, they never used a fake chainsaw. It was always a real
even
chainsaw.
More props to that actor then, because he was running.
Yeah,
like fast. Like I love the moment.
70s man.
This is when I laughed. Was when they get in the house and she's at the stairs, or like at the top of the stairs, and he comes in, and then he does this kind of like pause and like whips around and then runs up the stairs. Like I'm like, okay,
yeah, cardio.
Yeah, but then that's when she finds the like grandpa and the I never saw the grandpa until I watched this movie this time, because I watched a bit of it before, and I didn't realize that there was like, I thought he was dead.
Yeah, I thought he was dead too.
Just dead like the mom.
And then all of a sudden he's like sucking on her finger, and I was
like, no.
Okay, yeah. So the dinner scene. Mm-hmm. The guy that played the grandpa. Did you hear about this? The guy who played the grandpa refused, because to do that makeup took forever. And he was like in the makeup chair for like 10 hours while they were doing that makeup. And so by the time they were done, he's like, I'm like, we're doing this in one take, like one shot. And so that's why the dinner scene is so weird, and like they only had one shot to do it. And so that's why it kind of like drags out a little bit too. But apparently like the dinner scene took a whole day to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Believable.
Which like makes sense. And okay. And then when they cut her finger,
which really happened.
Yeah. So there was a prop. There's an issue with the prop. So like, I think the knife was supposed to like cut her finger, and then there's like a little tube with like fake blood. But the fake blood wasn't dispensing properly. So that plays Leatherface, got so frustrated because they kept, like I said, that scene took a whole day to do, probably partly because of that. Like things were like malfunctioning, blah, blah, blah. And so like he got so frustrated that he just cut her finger.
Wait, they didn't even ask?
Yeah, no.
Ew,
so they just cut her finger.
Because he's already so scary looking. And in that scene, he's got like a face with makeup on it and stuff. He's supposed to like be the mother on the dinner table. No. Fuck no.
Oh, yeah, the dinner. And then the head chandelier.
I thought that the family was going to start fighting because the like dad, the cook,
weird dynamic.
Just started to get like, oh, you shouldn't, just kill her. You don't have to like torture her and stuff. Yeah. Even though he was kind of torturous when he was driving her in the car and like kept poking her.
Oh my god, yeah, that was a weird scene too.
Ew, I hated that.
He's just like,
I hate that. Yeah.
It's like, God,
but I mean, obviously they're a dysfunctional family. Let's that's clear. But I mean, they have some kind of Texan family values going on.
I guess so. Yeah, they stick together.
They cook. They maintain the household.
They cook. They don't clean.
They definitely don't.
They
clean.
hunt.
Yeah.
They have their pigs. Right?
Yeah, they're pigs.
They have pigs. They have pigs running around.
No, that's in the Jessica Biel one. I didn't see pigs.
I feel like there is pigs in the 70s one.
The 70s one, the Leatherface guy like makes pig noises.
Oh yeah,
he makes squeals. These noises that are like a pig, and I'm like, I don't know how he does that. I don't know if they just put in pig noises, but
no, yeah, that was him.
I know
that was him.
No,
I remember
believe
that detail too. He really took that role very seriously.
I loved everything he did to put into that character.
And so I think he also came up with the like putting on different faces depending on what mood he's in. Mm-hmm. Because when he's like chasing them, like in the beginning, he has like a weird like whatever face on, but then at dinner he has like
the makeup face. Yeah.
I love that iconic Leatherface with the makeup. That's
I know.
Slay.
It
Honestly,
is slay.
Huge slay.
Yeah, it's a good Halloween costume. But make it sexy.
He's fluid.
Oh, 100%.
He's gender fluid.
Well, like he puts on a voice too when the cook comes in and he's like trying to hit him. He's like, oh, I don't remember why.
I don't know.
He's like, no, like he's doing this voice, and I was like, oh my god. I didn't actually think he talked. I was like, oh my god. So this movie kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Well, that's what they said. I'm pretty sure that's what they said about Ed Gein. People said that they saw him dancing in the moonlight with like a person's face like on him. And he also got like Leatherface got his like idea to like when he's like outside and he has like the face with the makeup on.
Right.
Yeah.
Like yeah. You mean the dance scene at the end or?
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah.
It's so
the ending is one of the best
beautiful
endings. Like like you can just tell how hot it is with the sunset and everything is this like crazy orange color and like
the twirl
and the truck driver.
Is he okay?
Dude, where did he go?
I'm like, I hope he made it.
That was so funny.
I'm sure he didn't stop running. I'm sure he just kept going. He's out of there.
Dude, that was so funny. He pulls over the truck and then he like gets out and then she comes running and then Leatherface comes running and then he runs back into the truck and then instead like Leatherface could have just like right through the window, but instead he's just like
drawing a little thing
on the side of the truck, and then they like go out the other side and they just like start running.
Yeah, doesn't he throw like a mallet at his head or something? Throws some kind of hammer.
Oh yeah, like a wrench,
wrench. And then he kind of like and then he starts cutting his. Then he's like up again. And it's like
And then the truck driver like just disappears.
I hope he's okay. At the end I was like, I'm not settled with him. I hope he's okay. Like, I really don't know what happened to him, but I'm glad she got away right at that moment.
And the only person of color.
I know. I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay. Like, that was so funny. Oh my God. And then she's running, and then that like truck pulls up, and then she like struggling to get into the truck, and Leatherface is like right behind her.
No, I love when, so she just like, because, well, they get the grandpa to try and kill her.
Oh yeah.
Right? At the dinner scene.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you can do it. But he's like so old that he like can't even hold the hammer. So it keeps falling. It's horrible. It's a horrible scene. And then like kind of like hits her. And then it's like, oh, it's so uncomfortable. But then like the fact that she's like, okay, there's actually a moment here. And I'm going to jump out this window. And then she jumps. And then like her leg is hurt. So she's like really hobbling. And I'm pissed off because I'm like, you need to be able to run. Like, please run.
Yeah.
And then the moment she hears the chainsaw, she starts running.
Yeah.
I'm like, same. I would.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any broken leg.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm gone.
The adrenaline in you.
Yeah.
If you finally got like free. Yeah. You just like.
Yeah, because I was like, I knew that she was a survivor because they tell you that at the very beginning that there's this one survivor. Yeah. But I'm like, how is she gonna get out of this? Yeah. Like, there's a like, how? I
always
she get
remembered
out of that?
the ending. I always remembered that was the ending, and I remembered her like laughing too.
Yeah,
and
like
she's
kind
like,
of insanely. Yeah, that's great. So 70s. Kind of looks like Carrie.
Yeah, kind of like she's like screaming and then laugh. Like iconic. That's such a good final girl scene.
I didn't know that whole kind of twirling like sunset scene.
Yeah, and then it's just him. He's just like
it kind of makes you like care about Leatherface a bit.
Yeah. Because, oh my God.
Like Leatherface is not like Michael Myers or like Freddy.
He's actually quite sensitive.
He's got like, he was abused clearly, and he's in a weird like family that like they all are like pressurized. Like it's just a whole it's a whole other kind of
Leatherface
type of killer.
Is about like the origins, and like it was such a bad movie, but like he as a little boy is like normal and nice, and then over the span of the movie you see him like turn into Leatherface, and the reason why he was deformed is because like the pigs attacked him, and then he sewed up his own face back together and then started wearing like people's faces. And there's a whole, that one is messed up. There's like a whole like curb stomp scene.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's like really weird. It starts out in this like mental hospital, and like, so you see the Leatherface, like you see his mom, and she's like really psycho. Yeah. So you see his mom, and then he has a brother, and then it's like Leatherface, and they try to get Leatherface as a child to like kill this old man, and like he's like feeling weird about it, and then something happens, and then he ends up getting taken away into a mental hospital, and then you're introduced to this nurse that comes in, and then shit like goes down and they break out, but there's this one guy that's with them that's like evil, like absolutely evil, and he's like, if you guys like try to run away from me, I'm gonna like kill all of you. So it's like the nurse, Leatherface, his brother, I think. And anyway, so then the movie goes on. Eventually he dies, and then she gets captured by the family, and you just kind of see him like turn into Leatherface. But the movie is bad. I was like, I get it. Like, I was like, I get what they're trying to explain here. Yeah. And I also wasn't fully by that because that was the third one that I watched. So like by that one, I was like on my phone, not paying as close attention. So but that's like the premise of that one, pretty much. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they really tried to make this like a franchise, and I guess they've succeeded in a way, but not to me. Yeah, not like they don't really think they did. Yeah, like it's not like the Halloweens or like they just, or the Friday the 13th and stuff. Like it's sort of its own little. I think the original movie is enough.
It's the best.
Yeah. I think it's like from beginning to end, kind of perfectly done. Yeah. Because like in the newer remakes and stuff, they kind of add a lot of extra frills and weird stuff that you don't really
except for the Jessica Biel one where they added absolutely nothing and like
they just made it more perverted.
Yeah, way more perverted.
Fair enough. Like it probably is. Yeah. But like you know what's interesting is like I was looking at a little like snippet of Ed Gein's story, and they show a photo of him as a kid, right? And you know the kid from The Ring who's in the Jessica Biel movie, who's like the youngest son who helps them. Looks literally the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll show you a picture because it's actually crazy. Yeah, we'll put it up. But like, no, it's weird that they look that. So I'm like, weird. I guess maybe that's part of why they even put him in that. But also The Ring was the year before, so who knows?
Right.
It could have been a total fluke.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. I didn't know he was in that. I didn't realize. Like, I didn't put them together in my head. Yeah. Because I knew I saw that boy in other movies, but I forgot that I saw
the one
him
from
in
The
that.
Ring.
And The Ring.
Yeah. I mean, the Jessica Biel one. We were kind of talking about this before we started recording, but it was just like, it's just Jessica Biel.
Looking great.
Jessica Biel.
I won't lie.
Incredible.
Like, her body is bodying.
Yeah. Stunning.
I know we're a feminist podcast. So, yeah. It kind of had an empowering moment at the end for her, you know, because she got out.
Yeah.
She like killed the sheriff and then took the kid.
Oh yeah, right.
So like that was kind of a nice little, you know, little wrap it up at the end.
Yeah, but there's one part where there's one part where she's like freaking out and like crying and like carrying on, and it's like kind of weird when she's like laying on the ground. I don't know.
There's just parts of that movie that I was like, okay.
I can't remember what her boyfriend is like. I feel like that actor was in a few things.
He was.
Right?
I don't remember what, but he had he was like very 90s, early 1000s. Yeah. And it was really funny when Leatherface wore his face.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
because she's like, okay, like that's clearly him.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole like we're lying about smuggling drugs over the border, and then
the girl blowing her head off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they replace.
So yeah, the hitchhiker vibe.
The hitchhiker with this girl.
They already picked up a hitchhiker though. Her name's Pepper. They're making out, and that's how it starts.
Oh yeah.
So they already have a hitchhiker, but then they add another hitchhiker, which is the girl that ends up blowing her head off.
And she's like, "You're going the wrong way."
Yeah.
You're going the wrong way.
Pulls a gun out of her
vagina.
Yeah. And then shoots herself in the head.
Yeah.
Great.
Like, and you see like it go. You
Brains
like see through her
head.
Car. Yeah. You're like, okay.
They have no idea where they are. They're heading to Dallas for a concert.
Right.
In that one.
Yeah.
And they try and obviously see if they can find a sheriff or find a police to like deal with this suicide in their car. So they drive, which I already find weird that they continue to drive with the person in the back, but they drive and they go to that woman's like shop.
Yeah.
Who I guess is a relative or the wife, maybe the mom.
Maybe.
Of Leatherface. I'm not really sure. I'm also not sure if Leatherface is just older now. Like if it's supposed to be the same person, but no, it's not. It's just a remake.
Yeah,
never mind. Sorry, that was a little because I watched them back to back. It was a little confused.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, that was so creepy. And then they go to the house, and she's like, "Yeah, meet them at the house." And then,
they're like, "Why are we meeting the sheriff at his house?" Like,
well, they didn't know it was his house yet.
Yeah,
but then the little boy shows up out of nowhere, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, he's probably drunk, like at his house."
Yeah,
at the house, and then they're like, "What?" And then. Ew, when he saran wraps the he's like, you gotta help me with this, son. Yeah. Like I'm like, what is still going down there on? Ew.
Like, ew.
Okay, no.
Sign of the times.
There was some certain
sign of the times.
I mean, I know they took a little longer killing the woman in the 70s one, and like, you know, there's a sexual aspect to that, sure, but they don't go that raunchy with it. And like in this one, obviously it's 2003, so I guess that's just
a fact about the original one is it's not very gory.
Yeah.
It's not very gory, and he did that on purpose so that he could hopefully get a PG rating, but he did not get a PG rating.
No, he had apparently an X rating, and then they had to like edit a bit things out.
Yeah.
And then now it's an R. Then it went R, but it was actually like unwatchable, I think, at first. So I don't know what they cut out, but I'm kind of curious.
So interesting. Yeah.
Like the uncut.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's out there.
The information's out there somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I thought that was interesting because then Jaws came out, which was way gorier, and that is PG. But I think it was just because Steven Spielberg was like already like becoming Steven Spielberg. You know what I mean? So they were like, oh yeah, just do whatever you want.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas like they didn't really believe in.
And like Tobe Hooper apparently directed Poltergeist, but there's all this talk about how it was actually Steven Spielberg because that's his story.
Oh yeah.
And like there's sort of this like misnomer with it, and
do they have beef?
I don't know if they have beef. I think there was like I don't know, some issue with directors at that time and who would do it, or some sort of strike happening or something. So they just like switch names or something. But then there's people that are like, no, it was definitely Steven. And I was like, I don't know. Yeah. I haven't, like, when we do that movie, I'll look deeper into it.
Yeah, totally. There's a lot of lore behind that movie too.
But he's a documentary maker.
Okay.
This Toby Hooper. So
okay.
The way that he filmed it felt very like,
yeah, people did praise the movie for that, like the camera work and like the cinematicness of it.
Like when the one girl that gets killed second, I guess, in the movie,
when he comes out and like grabs her.
Well, like the scene when she's just walking from the swing and going to the house. Oh yeah. And then the house is in the shot, and they do this like a few shots of the movie. They do like kind of an like an angle from below and up. And like that, I just thought it was like really cool. I don't know. It's just like the house, the sky, her walking to the house. And it was just, I remember saying out loud, like, wow, this is really beautiful. It's like a really beautiful shot.
Putting her. Yeah, totally. There are really beautiful moments. Like the very last scene is like so beautiful.
So beautiful.
But like just the whole hook scene too is like pretty iconic.
Okay, but they like really, the hook scene in the remake was with the really guy annoying. I was really pissed off actually. Cause like, he's there. He's still alive. He's been hooked. He's lost a leg.
Yeah.
And he's just there. And he's been there for, I guess, hours. Really I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's still alive. And Jessica Biel's been gone. She's gone through it by this point, and then she's just down there and she finds him, and then he's like, kill me. And I'm like, what the hell, bro? Like, you're going to ask her to kill you after she's gone through already hell?
Yeah.
I thought that was so selfish.
Yeah. I'm typical.
Can't you get any like console? Like, I know you're in a rough spot, but like, can't you just...
Well, she tries to get him down, and then he's like...
Well, that looked uncomfortable, and he's obviously already like paralyzed from
But she did kill him, and honestly, slay.
No, for sure. But I was like kind of annoyed. I was like, can't you like at least like ask how I'm doing before asking?
Yeah. Even though there's like a huge hook in your back.
I mean, I don't know. I was just like, okay, whatever. I was a little upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't like how what I always remembered of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is how hot and sticky it felt. But the Jessica Biel 2003 one was like wet. Like every scene was, and it was like dark.
They're like, let's put Jessica Biel in a white tank top and then make it like wet everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like no one's complaining.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it was quite obvious when you look back that was like a choice.
Yeah. She was such a like 90s queen.
Also, like the old guy and then the remake in a wheelchair, like feeling her up, and then suddenly was just like in his wheelchair late. Like when she went to do something else, he like easily got into his wheelchair, so he was obviously just like touching her. Like when she was trying to help him back into his wheelchair, it was so gross.
Yeah. So they're so weird. Like the weirdest little like quirks in these movies.
And I remember as a kid when I watched the original, or that version 2003, the sheriff, and when he like sees the joint and how like,
oh my god, yeah,
how much of like vibe change.
You've been smoking drugs.
What is this?
Yeah. They're like, are you kidding me?
Are you fucking joking?
Could you imagine if that actually happened to you and you were like driving and then some crazy shit for sure. Yeah. And then because we smoke weed.
Yeah.
and then and then they're like, immediately they're just like, you're lying because you're high. You're like, I swear.
And you're a lawbreaker.
All my friends are dead.
Oh my God.
Brutally.
And then like the curly haired guy, I think his name is like Mason or whatever, I don't remember, but he like because he's like, how did she die? And he's like trying to make him put the gun into his mouth, and then he like has the gun, and then he like tries to like point it at the sheriff, and then it's empty, and then he's like, now you're a murderer, and you're like, okay, like
relax.
So but I don't hate the 2003 version at all. It's like it's I kind of found it interesting that they had the choice of like she ran to the trailer, and there's like those two women in there that are like just really weird.
Oh yeah, right. I kind of forgot
they drug
about
her,
that scene. Yeah.
And they have that baby. Like they really try and put it all in there. And that's like the woman that killed herself's baby.
Right, yeah.
Because they randomly find that bottle with the missing poster in it. Like they really put it all in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a little more than you need for sure.
Exactly.
Especially when you watch the original, you're like, it was pretty clean. Was perfect. Like beginning to end, like this is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. There's no like weird backstory or anything that you know, like.
And I kind of like that there aren't any women in the original that live there. I'm like, nice. Yeah. I know there's that weird lady. Is there a weird lady? No, wait, there's no weird lady.
There's weird
nothing.
Lady.
Yeah.
It's all
men.
Weird.
Kind of creepy. Odd men.
Yeah, weird, odd, off men.
It's more believable, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know who those women are in the 2003 version.
Me neither.
Like are they cousins?
2003 version is so weird. I was like, what am I watching? Jessica Biel.
What did you think about him having a flesh-eating disease? Very cabin fever.
Leatherface?
Yeah, in the 2003. Well, he's got no nose.
Yeah, they have to have like some sort of. He
looks creepy. Like I liked how he looked. Like, he looked quite scary.
I like the lore of him like getting attacked by pigs, and that's why
horrifying.
He's like,
Is that the lore of the original?
Well, that's the lore of like the Leatherface, the one that I watched which is supposed to be the prequel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder how much conversation they had with like the writers of the original though.
I don't know. Maybe a little bit. I think it was like the same producers or something. Like I think they had some relationship.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll watch that then because
so there's 8
I'm
movies.
kind of invested in Leatherface now.
Me too. It's definitely I wasn't a super fan. Like I am a super fan of like Michael Myers or even like Freddy Krueger. I don't know why.
I feel like Leatherface needs more shower.
I think maybe I think maybe it was just because the 2003 one didn't really like blow my socks off even when I saw it the first time, and I'd never watched the 70s one from start to finish.
Yeah.
But now that I have like a new like respect for it for sure.
I have a big respect for it now. It feels like definitely an iconic movie and it shaped so many other movies after it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting that they like kind of used a real story and kind of created this.
You know what I really find interesting is that people like obviously didn't believe in this movie when it came out. People thought it was like disgusting and like decrepit, and like people were walking out of the theater and stuff, and then years later that film is not just looked at as like a pioneer in horror films, but it's looked at as like a pioneer of all films. Like I feel like people it's not just an iconic horror film, it's like an iconic film period, like especially for that like time and just like everything that was happening in the world and everything that followed it. I think that is like one of the coolest things like about that movie is that it affected. Same thing with Jaws, you know, like yes, Jaws is like a horror film, but like Jaws is just an incredible Hollywood like movie. You know what I mean? Like it exceeds its like own limits is basically what I'm trying to say.
Well, it created a genre and then it also superseded even the horror genre.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
No, I'm I didn't expect to like it as much as I did the original.
Yeah, I loved it. I would watch it again.
Me too.
I would watch it again.
I would like actually see it at like the Rio or see it on the big screen.
So fun.
They do it sometimes. I haven't done it yet, but I would definitely do that because it's sticky. Like you feel the setting, like it's through the screen. You know it's hot and it's uncomfortable and it's stinky
and that's really what it was.
Stuck out there, and you really feel that. And I love the intro scene with like the dead body.
Right. We should talk about that too, right? Because that part is heavily based off of Ed Gein or whatever, and then he Hooper like. With the beginning of the film, iconic, like this story.
I love that.
Is like about based off of true events. They basically say
the whole same thing in 2003 version.
They do, but
at the beginning,
it's not the same.
It doesn't hit the same way.
It doesn't set.
It sounds like a TV broadcaster in the original one.
Whereas, exactly. Yeah. And that freaked a lot of people out. But he straight up like lied because it's not totally based off of a real story. Like it is, but it's like. He definitely like, you know, made the story like his own, but it was a marketing tactic, which worked.
Oh yeah. Sort of like, what's that one where they use like the cameras?
Blair Witch.
Or Blair Witch was a good one. Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah.
Because that was like the next
real?
one.
Yeah.
Well, I believed it was. A lot of people, like the actors in it were paid
Paranormal
to like
Activity.
pretend they were dead for years or something.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I can't wait to do that one. Yeah, I know. Again, like there's like that one has a whole
really
like,
interesting.
Yeah.
That's really Paranormal Activity was what I was thinking of, which is obviously newer.
Was this? Yeah.
But that was another one where it's like this real.
I love all of those movies.
That
too.
kind of, yeah. Is that the found footage thing? Not really? Or
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because, like, I liked Paranormal Activity. It's so hard. We could just, like, go into, like, so many different movies. But I just love how it, like, brought you into your own house and, like, made you feel weird when you're sleeping. Whereas, like, Blair Witch, they're, like, in the woods and they're in, like, an unfamiliar place. Whereas, like,
yeah, but that still gets under your skin probably because it really... I think when I watched that originally, it was, like, I was still under the impression that it was, like, real.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought Paranormal... Well, I remember when I saw Paranormal Activity, I, like... didn't watch a trailer.
No, they said that was real too. They were lying as well with that one.
Yeah. But that's so it's like tale as old as time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's clearly a marketing tack that works.
Still allowed
probably
to use
not
that
so much.
tactic?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not so. I don't think you could use it. Not even on legal terms. Just like I just don't think we would fall for it anymore because it's just been done so many times.
Yeah, I mean I'm pretty gullible, but not gonna lie. I'm like I want to believe. Like real tangent.
I want to believe Leatherface.
Did you see the footage of the aliens in Florida that everyone was running away from in the mall? And that was like a few months ago.
No.
Like there was like a full mall and apparently like 3 really tall like kind of apparition style aliens appeared in the mall and everyone was running out of the mall. But like everyone was running out of the mall and there was literally like a bunch of helicopters, a bunch of police, and then like all they were saying was like there was a couple of teenagers fighting. But there's no way there would have been that many police. Teenagers. I don't know, but and then there's people on TikTok like who saw it and stuff and like explaining it and you're like I'm just like I believe it. I want to believe it, you know? Like,
I believe
it.
Give
me more of that.
Aliens.
Yeah. No. But yeah, definitely a great film.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974. I think that one is like the only one you really need to see.
Only one you really need to see.
Any of the other ones, unless you're really invested in.
You did watch
knowing more about. Yeah.
You did watch the 2022 one, and I thought that one was just fun because it was just like a gore fest fun. Yeah. I love this scene on the bus. Like that was like I just loved it. It was like this is hilariously fun.
On the bus.
Yeah, when they're all in the bus, and then he gets on the bus and it just murders the whole bus.
Oh, I think I was looking at my phone, but. I just like
because that's like the one in the weird town, right? Yeah, it's the most recent one
where they're like trying to like buy this whole town, and
right?
Then, like,
and then the bus comes, and then they get stuck there or something. Like the bus gets stuck there, or something like that.
I don't remember if the bus gets stuck. I just know like when they get to the town, it's just the main people in the car, like the ones that are like buying it, and then they see like a Confederate flag, and then they go and try and take it down, but there's people still living in the house when everybody should have been gone.
Right.
But there's like this
the bus
old
is
lady.
Separate, actually. The bus of people is separate.
Later.
Yeah.
It comes later with like the people that want to like invest in the town and like make a little brunch spot or like different things. Which is like honestly so like it's so Vancouver vibes, really, a little bit. Like you could totally believe people that are people like that, right?
Was it filmed here? Probably.
Well, it's supposed to be in Texas again.
Yeah, but probably wasn't.
But they don't flesh out like Leatherface at all.
No, like, he's just like
apparently some orphan this woman was taking care of, and like the moment she's dead, he's like, I'm coming back out here and killing everybody.
Yeah,
which is like fair.
Yeah.
And it was creepy when he like propped her up in the cornfield, and then like they like that was sort of an homage to like the original.
Yeah, totally.
But beyond that, there wasn't really much besides it being in Texas. Yeah.
They were supposed to make a TV series, but I think it fell through. So I don't think they're.
How would you bother doing
because
that?
I don't know. They were gonna try and do a series of like Jason, like Crystal Lake. They're gonna do like a TV series for a few different
kind of like
I know she did last summer. Had a series.
Archie and the Gang. That's kind of what that makes me think of. Like they could do like kind of a teen
Riverdale
vibes.
Yeah, probably it would be like lame. Probably I don't know.
There's also like I just found out when I was looking at YouTube yesterday was like there's like a video game, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which looks fun. It's
based off of the original,
so it's better to play it online or something. But it's based on the original. It's on the at the house.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it was popping off all these like new videos of it on YouTube yesterday, so I was like, okay,
interesting.
Yeah,
maybe just your algorithm, but it's also the 50th anniversary, isn't it? Oh yeah. Right. I do remember this now.
Yeah.
Well,
so I would play that.
Play it. I always wanted to like, because I see a lot of like streamers and they'll play like horror like video games, and it's actually like really funny because like they're scary. I think like I love horror movies, but like, and I love video games, but I haven't played too many horror video games. I think it would be so scary.
I think I played a little bit of the Silent Hill one. That was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a good
like
one.
yeah, for sure, back in the day. But other than that, there's so many that have like come out like since then that are like there's this really cool like fire watch. Like you're like in a up in a tower like looking for like forest fires but there's like weird like cult stuff happening. I want to play that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also the new movie we saw, the In a Violent Nature.
Oh my god.
Kind of had a little bit of crossover from this movie. A little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
More
just the
so
big
like
guy,
Jason.
Like well, he's dead though.
Yeah.
I
he's
guess
still like a big like kind of like yeah.
That was the coolest movie. And I can't wait to do that one, but I feel like it's still too new for us to do yet.
Yeah.
But 100% go see that movie.
In a Violent Nature.
It's so good.
It's Canadian
obsessed. Too. Love it.
Yeah. I think it also was just because we're talking about video games. It has like a video game vibe.
So true. Yeah. Because you're just like
I hope they make one. I'd play that.
I would play that too.
We're fine.
We're good. Just watched way too many Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's like actually did something to my brain a bit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, just like
it's
your
kooky.
Family too. Your family is
family
what
matters.
Makes you. Yeah. So choose wisely if you can.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah, I can't really.
Hopefully you don't get like born into
draw.
Yeah.
No.
You don't become the next Leatherface one day.
Yeah.
It's too stressful. It's too bloody for me.
I like hygiene too much.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. I don't want to wear somebody else's
face.
Weird.
No, I don't want to surround my house with like chicken.
It would smell so bad. It would just smell so bad. Maybe he doesn't have like smell.
Well, I guess that's why they didn't give him a nose in 2003.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
That makes sense. That lands.
Oh, anyways, I guess is there anything more you want to add about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I'm sure we missed a ton of stuff, but
I'm sure there's so much. Like, please let us know what you thought of the movie, and if you have any like kind of quirky facts about the movie that we didn't catch. I didn't have a ton of time to research it, but like what I did find, I thought was just really fascinating. Yeah, and I was actually very impressed. I guess I don't know if you were to rate the movie. I don't know.
Oh my god, I would rate it 5 chainsaws out of 5 chainsaws.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree.
5
Leatherfaces.
Yeah, 5 human head chandeliers.
I was impressed with his
lights,
couch
like,
design
coming out of the eyes and the nose and the mouth.
He had some crazy art in his house, and like they do show the sewing machine. Like he has one too.
He's talented.
Where did you get that from?
Yeah, with the bobbin.
We love a man that sews.
He's like, here, honey, look what I made
the bobbin.
You.
I need more bobbins. Like, can you imagine him going to the sewing shop, like
picking up the thread,
wearing a grandma face? Like.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, right this way, sir, ma'am.
Yeah, well, thank you for sitting with us through
as we talked about Leatherface.
Yeah.
Just misunderstood artist.
I think so.
Seamstress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seamstress. Yeah.
Seamster.
Leatherface Sawyer.
Let us know what you think of the movie. Have you seen all of them? Have you seen none of them?
Yeah, because I really thought this type of movie was one that I don't like. Like, I don't feel like this is like, this is an icky one for me. But then I watched it. I was like, actually, I love this.
Iconic. Hot, sweaty.
The last scene was just what got me, I think, at the end. I was like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's a nice length of a film. An
hour
hour and a half.
Perfect.
That's the max you want to do.
I was like,
it's
how long
perfectly
is this movie?
long.
Oh, thank God.
Like, perfect length. Yeah, because it's not like Shining 3 hours. If it was 3 hours, that would have been tough.
Hey, do you think you would have survived the 70s? I just feel
Watching
like
it in the 70s?
Well, no, I just feel like the 50s, 60s, 70s were just, it was a free for all. Everyone was like, there were so many serial killers, like everybody was just dying.
Oh, you think would I have gotten murdered?
Yeah. Kidnapped. Like, you don't have a cell phone, you're walking home late at night.
If I acted the way I act now, where I'll walk at 2 a.m. home and like, I don't
See,
care.
Exactly.
Like that,
probably not. Isn't that funny to think about? Kind of weird, also scary.
Yeah. I mean, I know.
There's a big chance something would have happened to you. You would have disappeared.
And nobody would have got away with a lot back then. Yeah.
I don't want anybody to wear my face. I like wearing my face.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of people would love to wear your face.
Thank you. I think a lot of people would like to wear your face too.
Maybe we can wear each other's faces for Halloween.
That would be so funny, but like really like haggard and like we like exactly like how would you do that? We'd have to go to like a prop store and
like if there's like a fake skin thing, and then you could maybe like and then like sew it together like really ratchetly, like Leatherfacey vibes.
Yeah,
that could be cool. And then plaster it first, probably.
Yeah, there you go. And then good idea. Yeah. Well,
that would be sick.
Let's make it happen.
One day we're gonna make some.
It'd be funny if we like opened the episode with us just sitting there with each other's faces on.
We'll wear them as long as we can, like we did in Signs. And that'd be great.
Oh, anyways, okay, well,
thank you for watching our podcast, and we will be back soon with another movie. We have ideas.
Let's jump in the gun. Yeah. With our next movie, subscribe, share, comment. Give us the motivation to keep doing this. Just kidding. I'll always be motivated because I love horror movies and I love.
I didn't even check how many people watched the last one. I don't think
like 30. But whatever.
When 28 years later comes out, you'll be watching it.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. All right.
Well, thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.